Hello, my name's Nicholas.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Doctor Who on the Twin Review. Massive explosions!
So the episode was God Save the... Wait, no. Empress of Mars. Empress of Mars.
God save the Empress of Mars. I'll just flat off the something or other. Flat off the toaster oven, because that's all I can think of at the moment.
I am bread. Sorry.
Thought it was a brilliant episode. I think it was probably the second best, if not equally as good as Oxygen. But in that same scheme, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This episode, there's very little that I disliked about this episode again. Just as much as Oxygen. I adored this episode. It was phenomenal. So let's start with the things that you liked. What did you like?
I liked that they were bringing back old creatures / villains.
Star number 1. Ding ding.
The Ice Warriors.
The Ice Warriors, yes. Bringing back the old Ice Warriors.
That was, before the reboot.
Okay, so Ice Warriors were in the old Doctor Who, the original Doctor Who.
Yes. They originated from the episode The Ice Warriors in 1967 with the second Doctor.
Oh, wow.
And in the most recent season with Matt Smith, in the episode Cold War, when they were in the submarine with CLARA, and when they emerged onto the submarine, the TARDIS left. Like, it disappeared, and so they had to catch a trip back to the TARDIS on the submarine.
I vaguely remember that. Huh, he just had me thinking for a moment, because coming back to the current episode, Empress on Mars, probably the only thing that I didn't like about the episode, and so everything else I say is going to be things I liked, but the only thing I didn't like that didn't really seem to make sense, I mean, actually, I loved it at the beginning, the fact that the TARDIS just kind of took off by itself and left. And I was like, ooh, this is really exciting, this is really mysterious, I wonder what's happening. And it was never revealed why it left. For what reason did it leave? Yeah. Is there something with the Ice Warriors that the TARDIS is like, nope, can't do it?
Well, I'm wondering that because on certain circumstances, if the TARDIS senses that it's in great danger, it will leave. So I'm wondering, like, when Nardi got on, it's like, okay, I'm taking you to safety, we're getting out of here.
I'm gonna leave the Doctor, leave his companion, but I'm taking Nardi with me.
And I think part is just, plot device.
I don't know. I think maybe, because you've actually watched some of the original series of Doctor Who, you have it on DVD and all that jazz. I wonder if we were to watch that particular episode from 1967, if we would see something with the Ice Warriors that maybe there is a reason, a historical reason that Doctor Who, the TARDIS leaves with the Ice Warriors. I don't know. Maybe the TARDIS and the Ice Warriors just don't get along for some reason.
If you know, please comment down below.
If you got some insight to this, because it doesn't make sense. Why would the TARDIS leave? Why would it leave?
I don't know.
But in bringing back old creatures from old Doctor Who,
yes.
I didn't have any, we had to look this up, at least I did. I didn't have any knowledge of it whatsoever.
Well, I did the same.
At the very end, what was that creature called?
Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri. Just, it's very high, squeaky voice and kind of silly looking costume with the one eye.
Well, that's the old one. I mean, it still looked kind of costumey, but a lot better version, just a big eyeball kind of thing.
It seemed really out of place, really old Doctor Who, and it was kind of a throwback to that original creature which came from, well, I forget now the episode what it was called and everything, but it was back in the 1970s with the third Doctor. The third Doctor. So that was real cool. A lot of throwbacks to old Doctor Who creatures.
We'll come back to it more near the end of the review.
But I thought particularly, as far as all the episodes go, the introduction of this episode was just absolutely perfect. They're in NASA, they're counting down, and suddenly the Doctor he just jumps in and starts counting down. It's like, where did he come from? What is going on here? And then suddenly, interjection, another 30 seconds pass, and there's Bill! Is that Neil Armstrong? Who is this person? And then finally, after they've already done it twice, using the perfection of comedic repetition. You only do things, you do a bit 3 times. You don't do something more than 3 times. And that third time, they bring it back, suddenly there's Nardi! Just, who are these people? What is security doing? Throwing it over the edge. Just absolutely phenomenal. But what I didn't like, some extent until the end of the episode, was the fact that when they got there and they see the British people and it says, you know, Mars says God save the Queen, and they're like, oh, it's British people, and they've got these outfits that just seem out of place from the present, and we are given no explanation as to how long they've been there. And based on the chronological order of the episode, we assume that we are in present time, that everything we're watching is currently happening. They're at NASA, then they go to Mars to figure out why it says God save the Queen. They find these British people there who seem to be from Victorian time period, and we're like, the way that they've been speaking, they haven't been there on Mars very long, so I'm like, okay, they found this alien, they found the ship, they traveled from Africa to Mars in the ship. Did the ship time travel during that time period? I don't know. I was very confused.
Yeah.
And then, finally we figure out that these British people are in fact from Victorian times, and based on their explanation, they've only been there, I don't know, a couple weeks, couple days, I don't know what it was been. But at the very end of the episode, they reveal that the Doctor and that Bill were there with whatever the guy's name, the one who was the coward.
The Colonel.
The Colonel. And they put God Save the Queen on Mars. So that explains, it comes all the way around, that apparently for whatever reason they had traveled back in time to Mars in the past and done all this whole event, left that sign there, and that's why the Doctor and Bill and Nardi were all there at NASA in the moment they were about to discover this thing, because they wanted to see the look on NASA's face when they saw the sign God Save the Queen. Ah, the Doctor playing with time.
Yeah,
the biggest prank.
What I also like was with the whole God Save the Queen is we both thought at the same time was hello, sweetie.
And then before they showed it, we were like, how perfect would it be? What's the message? Hello, sweetie. If River Song was still in the series, I guarantee you we would have seen Hello, Sweetie on Mars.
The one thing that I just kind of dreaded was when Nardi left and asked Missy for help to get back.
Yeah, but see, as I had said, there was gonna be somehow, Missy was gonna find a way out of the vault. So my theory I think still stands. I do believe Missy is acting maniacally, is acting evilly.
Evilly nice.
Full of evil. And the niceties are just a facade, are just a mask that she is wearing, because she is a sociopath, and she will find, now that she's been given an opportunity, she's only been in the vault how many years? What, like 70?
Something
she's
like
got
that.
1,000 years she's supposed to be in the vault. I believe she's getting desperate, and she has found an opportunity. Just when Nardi said, can you tell me how to run it? How clever, how manipulative. You could hear it in her tone. It might just be better if I show you. Let me out of here. I'll help you. Poor little thing. And now she's out of the vault, and she's going to use that to gain the Doctor's trust, and at the end of the season, betray him, which will cause his death and his regeneration. I'm standing firm on that. That's what's going down. Eh?
Yeah.
Any other notes you had about this?
Some of them more just kind of taking, like questioning what is going on in this episode. Cause it was a very confusing episode. Like, Brits on Mars, Friday, they're serving. But I did have, a notion of, after saying that, Friday told us that we're going to get, treasure and stuff like that. I'm thinking, he's going to dig to find his people.
Yep.
And they did.
I knew, I was right there with you too. When they said that, I knew that this was Friday's plan. This is exactly what he was going to do.
Because
he was using humanity to his advantage.
Like, I'll take you to my planet, and you can have treasure. And I'll just look for my people. Oh, they're dead. Oh, it's okay. I'll be your servant. And, it's Ice Warrior. Warriors don't just say, oh, I'll be your servant. Warriors don't do that. They don't do that.
But, the humans didn't know they were the Ice Warriors. They were surprised.
No, because the captain, was all gung-ho and an idiot, to say the least.
Ultimately, yes.
And the comment that just kind of annoyed me a little was like, well, we're British, we can do whatever we want.
It's part of the Empire now. Mars is ours.
Yeah. I mean, the one quote I didn't fully get was when the one guy said, you'll get your share with the rhino. So maybe that's
I believe it was just a metaphor, phrase, speech, word, thing.
Okay.
I'm looking for your help here.
I don't know.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, like people take ivory from rhinos.
They were in Africa. They were on a safari.
Yeah.
They were on a British safari.
So, okay. And one thing that I thought was interesting is that after the Doctor is what, 2,000 years old now?
More than that,
at this
yep.
point, and his screwdriver still does not have a wood setting.
You know, he could probably do that. He could probably set it. It's not like he's waiting on some company to send updates to his phone. It's his screwdriver. He could just design it.
'Cause I know that I remember reading about it was either a web series or actually no, it was a gaming. Yeah, it was a computer game of Doctor Who where it was like Matt Smith era where he was stuck in like Victorian time and he had a screwdriver that would work on wood.
Well,
I don't know how it would connect with the whole story overall, but like if it was done in a game, I would think you could continue on to other models.
you have to remember that the game probably isn't canon to the Doctor Who universe.
Probably not.
It's probably fan-made or otherwise. Someone who made it. I don't think that applies. You can only rely on the show for what is canon. Everything else is fictional. I mean, because Doctor Who is real. Doctor Who is a piece of non-fiction. Historical documents,
Doctor
right
Who
there.
is real, man.
That's what I just said. But you had a theory about the Ice Warriors, you were saying?
No, I was saying I have a theory about the Alpha Centauri at the very end. Because I feel that even though it's a brief cameo in this episode, I think we're going to be seeing a bit more of Alpha Centauri as the series goes on, or maybe at least into the next season.
It's very well possible, because remember, at least based on our deduction of this episode, they traveled back in time to the past of Mars,
Right.
to Victorian time period. So the Alpha
Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri, it's such a weird word to me. But the Alpha Centauri, that was back in Victorian times. That intergalactic alliance was made between the Alpha Centauri and the Ice Warriors. So perhaps we're going to see more of that in the future. Maybe that will come back into play. I don't know.
I think they will. I made a note of Captain's gonna get everyone killed. And he did.
Pretty much. Almost everyone.
I mean, but I know it's good writing for when you have a character that everyone's like, oh, I hate him, just shoot him already. He's gonna get everyone killed. And he does. And then it's like, that time comes where it's like, you have done your duty or whatever. And then boom, he's gone. Finally.
I called it as soon as he was turning around. I was like, I know exactly where the guy who ran away is. He's gonna be the one to shoot him down. He's gonna be the one to have, not salvation, but a second chance.
Redemption?
Yes! Redemption! He was given the opportunity for redemption. I thought that was a beautiful way to write the end of that. So, all in all, this episode, absolute perfection. I think it
And another thing that I liked was Doctor Who's movie quote. You'll be frozen. It's a movie.
On the little things that I liked, one thing that just was really, really cool, the weapon of the Ice Warriors, where it kind of turned people into crumpled rocks, or
Yeah, that was weird.
and I don't know if that's happened in past episodes, like when, years back when we had the Ice Warriors, but it was really cool because it was a different, unexpected type of weapon. Usually people disintegrate or explode or catch fire. This one's just like fold you into a big bumbled mess of, well, it looks like rock.
Yeah, because I know the Daleks, like when they shoot them with the pring,
Just kind of disintegrate.
Yeah, but in the other ones, like they would, almost like do like an X-ray kind of thing, and they just like crumple. Now the newer ones, they just kind of disintegrate. With the Cybermen, it's just more of a little like almost kind of thing.
So I don't know. We were trying to figure out what exactly it is that happens to him, and the only thing that I can guess is it's almost like it causes your body to implode on itself.
I think.
Like to crumble in the same way that a star would collapse on itself. It's like your body collapses in on itself and hardens.
I remember using like black matter ray.
I don't know. This is weird. It was weird, but it was all very, 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 very cool. So, anything else?
The very ending was very confusing to me. The Doctor saying to Missy, "You're gonna go back into the vault." This can't be happening. She's like, yeah, fine. I just want to ask you, doctor, are you okay? Really? Are you okay? And that's it. It's just, I mean, I guess it's a good cliffhanger. It's a very good cliffhanger. But it's just, what's going on?
It's all a ruse. It's all a ruse.
What about you? Anything else?
God save the queen.
The thing I liked about with God Save the Queen moment, where all the troops were just saying, God save the Queen. But I was a little confused when the Colonel pledges his allegiance to the Ice Queen. Because, I mean, he's always kind of like betraying his own queen and serves a new master.
He sacrificed himself and been given grace to live, pledged his allegiance.
But
as far as his own people, he was, a coward. He had no future there. But he sacrificed himself to save his people who still had a future with the queen, if you will. So I don't think anything he did was without honor. I think everything that he did was very moral right. He was expecting death and was given life and a new beginning. Redemption.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really liked, probably one of my favorite parts of the episode, was at the very end, Doctor Who did his classic move when he comes to an enemy that he can't beat, essentially. He does, if you will, going on the metaphor of chess, does the whole queen for a queen. He can't seem to defeat them, so he risks his most powerful player, if you will, his most powerful thing, against theirs. So we have the people in Mars, we have the Ice Warriors who are basically winning, and he sets the gun to destroy both people, both humanity and the Ice Warriors. Queen for a queen. Can you risk it? Can you risk it, Ice Warrior? Ice Queen, rather. Ice Queen. And that is like the classic Doctor Who move.
Yeah.
Queen for a queen. So let us know in the comments below what your favorite parts were, what theories you have coming up for the rest of this season, and we will see you all in the next episode of Doctor Who, The Twin Review. Ta-ta!
Bye!
Pa! Success!